Hi, welcome. This is Loretta with Mother's Tarot, and this is video 10 of the Star Lineage spread revealing what star are we from? Message from above, from the star people. Okay, I hope everybody's doing great, feeling good, trying to get through this energy change we're going through with the planets. It's been challenging for me. Very challenging. So we have got 7 cards and then, 8 cards, but the eighth card is the unseen energies from the bottom of the deck. So I include that in on the readings. We have got card number 1 here is generosity. Now, generosity has been pulled. This is the second time that this card has been pulled. Okay. And then card number 2 here. This is the first time this card has shown up. It is blind enthusiasm from the Pleiades species in the past. I'm sorry, and I forgot the generosity. It's Lyra in the future, identifying this card. Okay, so second time for this one, first time for this one appearing. Also the first time for this third position here appearing. And we've got equal value philosophy, Palladian's future. There we go. And then in position number 4, this is the second time this one has come up. It's 94, mental transformation, serious in the future. Okay. And then in position 5, this is the first time we've seen this one. Force of attraction, Orion light, future. So that would be like an Orion species, but the light species from Orion. So I'm seeing that. And then in the 5th position, or the 6th, I'm sorry, 6th position, card number 105. And this is light of awareness, Orion light. So we got 2 Orion lights on the board from the future showing up. And this is where my outlet. Light of awareness. This is the first time this one has shown up. Okay. And then in the 7th position, this is the second time leaving home, the Assessian species parallel timeline. Okay. And then the unseen energy, second time appearing or in a reading, change, the Andromeda parallel time. Okay. So that's all interesting. So we've got let's see how many. So in position 2 the first time, position 3 is the first time, position 5 is the first time coming up, and position 6 is the first time. So this is going to be cool and interesting, and we're going to have new information. And all right, now I need to read my little narrative for anybody that's new, well, even returning viewers, because it reminds us, what we are receiving from these cards. Okay, Galactic Heritage Cards are used to help us tap into our star lineage and karmic patterns, and also reveal lessons brought to Earth from the stars, and how these lessons can be used in our life on Earth now. A star lineage spread more accurately reflects that stellar influences are working with you now, in the moment you choose the cards. If you do readings often, the cards may change, but over time you will notice a pattern that keeps emerging if you are working with the cards in a sincere way. This is a fluid system without fixed positional meanings because it represents the multidimensional and holographic nature of consciousness. Each card has a number, of a civilization, a theme, and text that goes with it. The numbering order is based on the journey from unity to polarity through integration and back to unity. We have 21 different species and 108 cards in this deck. 4 timeline suits, past, present, future, and parallel. The cards are numbered based on the journey from unity to polarity and back to unity, reflecting a universal theme, that of a state of oneness, a fragmentation into individuality, and the process of integration back to the state of oneness. Thus, the cards in the lower numbers represent the earliest process of unity fragmenting into individuality, and the star consciousness who guides us. Early to mid-range numbers represent the physical civilizations. The higher number cards are the reintegration cards, representing a movement of energy from unity to polarity and then to reintegration. Card numbers later in the deck represent the integrative processes of our star family as it moved towards unity. Parallel cards refer to a certain era of that civilization on the card. Future cards are an era of mature civilizations, where our extraterrestrial guidance mostly comes. These cards work with your intuition. Okay. So with that said, let's get started. And here is, the book. So that comes with the deck. And I hope if any one of you if this is really resonating or piqued your interest, that you'll get your own set and work with your own pulls and see what reveals itself. But in the meantime, as I read these cards, if they resonate with you, they are pinging, then you're getting something out of it, and that's what this is all about, to help us evolve. We learn and discover. And I am definitely interested in discovering and learning about the species outside of our planet, within our galaxy and beyond. So, okay, here we go. This is card number 68, Curiosity, Lyra in the Future. And let's see, let me take a good look at this card. Yeah, it looks feminine and holding something. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. 68. An ancient challenge of the Lyrans was to have a generous spirit. They had a fear that if they gave to others, they would not have enough for themselves. Eventually, they healed this pattern. Humans are now facing the same challenge as they explore the issue of generosity. Most people have no problem being generous when they feel safe and secure. But can you be generous when you feel insecure? Examine your patterns of generosity honestly. Are you afraid to give, or do you have resistance about receiving? Balance lies in being able to give and receive equally. That is a true path of transformation. Yeah. Now, I know myself, um, that's something I have to work with, because I'd give everything I have away, and I have to take care of myself too. So, okay, here we go. This Laurentine stream, yeah, this Laurentine stream represents the Lauren culture after they healed their karma and the challenges of the past when they were a young species. One of these challenges of the past had to do with their selfishness and an insistence on viewing reality in a fragmented way, which only accentuated polarity and kept them acting from a place of me first. This kind of attitude ignores the truth that all beings are really one consciousness looking through a multitude of eyes. Over time, as they matured, they learned that by helping others, they truly help themselves. If this card came up in your reading, look to the other cards and your life situation for clues. It could be that you are receiving a message to become more generous in life, not through actions per se, but through the intent before those actions, which is more important. Conversely, it could be a message that your generosity is being offered from a motivation that is not aligned with your spirit. It may also mean that you are being too generous and depleting yourself. Search deep within for the deeper meaning of this message. Ultimately, when you keep in mind that all beings in creation are part of the same one being, the understanding of generosity changes completely. Begin to see your generous actions in a way that reinforces the idea that all giving is really giving to yourself. Well, that's pretty cool. And it's true. Absolutely. Nourishes our soul when we can share. Okay, now the next card we have is number 42, Blind Enthusiasm, Pleiades in the Past. Let's see if you want a good look at that card. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Right there. 42. Okay, here we go. A habitual pattern of the Palladians when they were a young species was to become very excited about an idea and implement it without thinking it through. What are the far-reaching implications of these actions? Who benefits and who is hurt? Take a good look at the times you may have done this in your current life. In the eyes of the universe, there are no mistakes. However, everyone has the responsibility to see beyond their own excitement and try to make choices that support the whole rather than simply the ego's desires. This card, okay. It refers to a time when the Palladians were a young species and very idealistic and enthusiastic. Like a big puppy, they often excitedly bounce from one plan to another without thinking things through, sometimes offending or hurting those on the other end of their plans. This is a quality of most young people and species, and through lessons learned, we eventually grow out of it. The Palladians today still have a tremendous amount of enthusiasm, but it isn't so blind any longer. They have learned patience, temperance, and respect in regard to others. One of the significant signs of a matured person or species is that they can make decisions with their eyes fully open and never infringe on the rights of others, force a reality on others, or become self-centered in their plans. The Pleiadians have achieved this state, but humans are not yet there. If this card comes up in your reading, look to the other cards to see if it might be a Pleiadian karma or memory of yours. Are there other cards with a similar theme? It may simply be a warning about your actions in this life as a human. Oh, yes. Let's see. We've got one other Pleiadian card right here. Equal value philosophy. Take that to heart. And this one, yeah, both of these, first time. So I'll show you this one. Equal value, Pleiadian's future. There you go. Okay. Here we go. 86. Let's see what it has to reveal to us. I hope you're getting something out of this. I know I am. So I know some of you are staying with me, so you must be getting something out of it too. Okay, here we go. 86. Equal value philosophy, Pleiadian's future. Humans have gotten used to polarity and inequity. However, the Pleiadians' philosophy of equal value sees all things as equal, such as gold and as stone. When they exchange with each other, they do so from a place of equality, and the exchange becomes one from the heart rather than for profit or gain. This card asks you to examine your emotions about the fear of not having enough, the issue of fairness, the difference between wants and needs, and always wanting more. Equality of all things is a universal principle, but we must first heal our fear of lack before we can fully embrace this principle. Yeah, that's really true. With all the homelessness and the hungry people on the planet, yeah. Hopefully we'll get that worked out with 0 point energy. Okay, continuing on. This card refers to an evolved time stream of the Pleiadian civilization. It is a time when polarity is exceptionally balanced. In a state such as this, there is no greed, competition, or consumer-driven structure. The concept of economics is totally different. It is based on universal principles of neutrality and equality. The only exchange is one of energy rather than the illusionary money systems known on Earth. Beyond human structures that measure worth, there is a universal view that sees all beings in creation as equal. If this card came up in your reading, it could have several meanings. It may mean that you have a connection to this future Pleiadian time stream, and it is calling for you to look at your current attitudes and beliefs about lack, self-worth, and the abilities to give and receive. There might be a belief that you have, hidden or obvious, that is keeping you from manifesting abundance in its many forms in your life. It may also be asking you to transform your understanding of what value really means. The old polarized concept of economics is no longer working on the planet or in your personal life. It can only be transformed through your deep inner work. If you are absolutely certain this does not apply to you, then it could be that you are already embracing this concept of Pleiadian equal value, and this card is acknowledging it. Go within, connect with your higher self, and listen to the guidance about what this card means for you. Yeah, we all need to work on this. Shoot, look how we are. So, yeah, our whole civilization. And and this does speak to me. This exchange of energy and the consumer-driven structure we have. my own value and worth, even in, you know, yeah, expressing myself on YouTube and the various platforms and doing all this, it's like, it's shaky ground for me to be on, you know. So, but I persevere, keep going, because that is how we evolve. Correct, Mungo. That's okay. Mental transformation is next, and this card has. This is the second appearance. Mental transformation, serious future. Okay, here we go. Number 94. Here we are. Beliefs, habits, and mental attachments cause most of the distress that we experience as humans. Sometimes we don't even realize we have them. Now that we are making a planetary transition, it requires us to let go of these obstacles to true awakening. Our future serious friends who have released these obstacles can help us with this because they provide loving guidance to help us navigate this transition. This card asks you to be truthful about your limiting beliefs and habits, even the positive ones, and open yourself to new and flexible ways of thought and being. This card accesses energy from the Syrian era after they become an awakened species and transcended to a non-physical fifth density state. The Syrians from this era are a great model for humans because when they were young, their species had many of the same challenges that plagues humans now. One of these challenges is that humans are often their own worst enemies because of their destructive thought patterns that continually sabotage spiritual growth and the transformation of the planet. When the Syrians were able to transcend their destructive mental patterns, they were able to make their planetary transition with ease. If this card is in your spread, look to the other cards as well as your life circumstances for future clues. The meaning may have to do with a needed transformation that must take place in your thought and belief patterns in order for you to make a shift. Conversely, the card may be acknowledging that you have made this shift and are ready to move into a new level of growth. Self-honesty will be needed in order to know which of these options or another is accurate. It is quite possible that guides from the Sirius era are working with you in your growth. If you feel this is the case, open yourself even more to the wisdom they can share with you. Do not fear this change, for freedom always comes from this type of mental transformation. Absolutely. How many of us, we go through mental transformations. Well, most of us, especially, from, our our child years to our teenage years to our young adult years, middle life, moving into the elderly years. We all have to transform mentally in order to cope with that. So, yeah. And and it's even more important today, with the state of the world and all of us in it. Excuse me. Okay, we move on now. And this is the first time this card has been up. Force of attraction, Orion light, future. Force of attraction, Orion light, future. Isn't that interesting how that little doohickey just goes right through the middle of its body? All right. This will be interesting. Let's see what this one has to say. Card number 106. Here we go. The natural state of existence is balance. It takes more energy to sustain a state of imbalance than to surrender to balance. Balance is a state of integration where all parts of self are aligned and at one. The Orion light represents this integrated state. There is a force of attraction that guides us back to this state, and it can be felt on subtle levels. We can tune into this force when we are silent and empty. This card asks you to move to your next level of growth by emptying yourself often and empty. That's what it says. This card asks you to move into your next level of growth by emptying yourself often in meditation. I never thought of it in that term. Wow. And that is so true. I love that. Okay. Learn to feel this subtle force of attraction that guides you to the state of ultimate balance within you. The last 4 cards of the deck access the energy called the Orion Light, which connects to a very evolved era in Orion history. Since our natural state is as a unified being, there are universal forces that pull us towards integration and awakening, no matter how much we resist. When we resist this natural flow, we sometimes create accidents or seemingly negative circumstances to force us to move in the direction we need to go for the highest good. When we relax and trust in the flow of the universe, we are intuitively pulled towards the choices and circumstances that foster our evolution. Thus, we are always nurtured by creation, even when it doesn't seem that way. If you pulled this card, it can have several meanings. It could mean that you have a good ability to follow this flow and to continue to trust it. Or it may mean that you are resisting this flow, and this resistance is creating undesirable or painful circumstances in your life. If so, serious inner work is needed to reconnect you with the wisdom of the universe that you don't feel capable of accessing. Wow, that kind of stopped me in my tracks because I got one of them little parts of me inside that keeps looking for the access, you know? Okay, that's great. All right, here we go. The chaos of outer circumstances is just a reflection of inner chaos. Don't be distracted by the outer chaos of it manifests in your life. Go within and reconnect with this flow, the natural force of attraction that always nudges you towards awakening. Wow, this was beautiful. I love this message. Yeah, see, the universe is, this is why I'm doing this. The universe has pulled me here. And I'm so glad it did too. Okay, now, and I'm so glad all of you are here with me sharing this ride, sharing this journey. Yeah, okay, now we go to light of awareness. This is another one. First time up, Orion Light. Okay, Loretta, get it up there. Yeah, a little bit. There you go. Number 105, page 105, right next door to you. Okay. Our true state of being is as a unified, abiding awareness. This awareness contains no judgment, labeling, commentary, or opinion. When we do deep meditation, we can access this state, first for brief moments and then for long periods of time. The consciousness of the Orion Light represents this abiding awareness within us that transcends polarity. You may visualize this as a candle flame during your meditation. Work with this exercise to reconnect with your true state of being. As each person does this, the old wounds from Orion are healed and humanity can awaken. Now, if we can just get everybody else meditating and do it better ourselves, right? Okay, continuing on. The last 4 cards of the deck access the energy called the Orion Light, which connects with a very evolved era in Orion history, but represents so much more. They reference the complete healing and integration of not only the polarity with the Orion system that has affected us all, but the polarity that played out within the holographic matrix of creation itself. These cards represent the end game, so to speak, the return to the source and our natural state of being as one unified abiding consciousness. Once awakened, the illusion of polarity can no longer exist. Eventually, all of us on earth will have to accept this awakening, or salvation. It comes not from anyone or anything outside of us, but through our own efforts to awaken ourselves. This card appears in your reading. If this card appears in your reading, it is a powerful symbol that the Orion light, the light of the awareness of creation, is strongly working with you for your own awakening. You may or may not feel it overtly. If you need assistance to tap into it, imagine a golden liquid light, like a golden liquid like lake during your meditation, and know that all aspects of creation, even the unpleasant ones, are made from this liquid light. Let this liquid light help you feel the unity that is your true nature, and know that this liquid light resides in you too. Use the candle flame as mentioned above to access this awareness as often as you can. Wow. I've thought about doing that before, just meditating and staring into the flame of the candle. And I haven't sat down and done that yet. I keep going with the breathing and just closed my eyes. But, it's time to try something new. So I will be doing that. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, this next card number 7. And we have had this, this is the second time. Leaving home, assessing species parallel. And the Assassini, yeah, there we go. Looks like a car, don't it? The way it's shaped with the wheels down here and outside of the car, and a driver, all your stuff on top of it floating down the road. I don't know. That's what it reminded me of. So leaving home, I thought that was pretty good. All right, here we go. The Assassini. I hope I'm saying that right. The Assassini, a cross between humans and Zetas, eventually had to integrate all their lessons, evolve as a species, and leave home, walk into their own future, and find their own path. Humanity is facing this challenge now as we struggle to find ourselves. You too are at this crucial nexus point of evolution. This is a beautiful yet bittersweet place to be. You must do your spiritual homework, make conscious and courageous choices, and find your own path. Do not fear who you truly are. This represents the potential for a new birth and the importance of consciously creating your future, starting now. The Assassini species is a hybrid of human and Zeta and is highly evolved, but they did not have role models in the same way we do. They were true pioneers. Their evolutionary path was very lonely in some ways, and they had to consistently walk into the unknown. If you pulled this card, its message can vary. Most likely the card is telling you that you may have to leave home, metaphorically, like a teenager does when he or she becomes an adult. You may have to make some choices to walk a path that is solidarity, but authentic for you, rather than what society, religion, or family pressures you to choose. However, there's a warning. If you choose to walk a unique path that is different from those around you, make sure it is done because this path is an authentic expression of you, rather than a rebellion against what you don't like. This is a very important distinction. Rebelliousness always attaches you to unhealed issues. Perhaps this card is telling you that it is time to begin to embrace your own unique, authentic self. This unique, authentic self is not an expression of ego. It is simply an expression of the natural flow of the universe working through a physical expression of you on this earth plane. No matter which meaning is appropriate for you, listen closely for the inner whisperings about the next step. In the end, we must all have the courage to leave home in order to recognize our true home. Wow. Wow. See, that's how I landed here doing all this. Because as you can see, I'm not a tech person. You know, my lighting is bad. I could barely get everything together. But, you know, the universe says, come on, Loretta, keep going. This is where we want you. Yes, I'm coming. I'm doing it. Yeah, and see, and then the unseen energy card, the card of change from Andromeda, parallel time. See, it just all fits and washes so beautifully together, don't it? There you go. Okay, I'm going to read that one, and the card 3. This is its second appearance showing up on the board. Here we go. And, you know, I'm really fascinated when we get to the point where I pull out the most heavily appearing cards to take a good overlook of all of them. That's going to be exciting. And the universe will let me know when that's ready, when it's time. Okay, here we go. Did I bring it up and show you change? I can't remember. I'm having a senior moment, maybe. I don't know. Change. There you go. Andromeda. All right. Here we go. Okay. In physical reality, change is the only constant. Oh, yeah. We spend so much time and energy trying to keep things the same that we miss the profound experience that change brings. Andromedans live in a very unusual reality paradigm, that of constant change. The change is so dramatic that the only way to orient yourself in reality is to have a strong inner compass based on consciousness. You have pulled this card because either you have a strong connection with Andromedans, you love change, or you need to connect with Andromedan energy and let go of the fear of change. This is your next lesson. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm always working on that. Okay, here we go. Final part of this. It may seem it may seem odd that the energy of a galaxy outside of ours is being utilized in this deck. The reason for this is that you can see yourself more clearly when there is a contrasting idea that can serve as a comparison. The energy of the Andromeda galaxy provides this contrast to help us see ourselves more clearly. Within the template for experience in our reality lies the issue of polarity. This is a primary theme we must explore on our way back to wholeness. In addition, we have a tendency to like things to stay the same so that we can feel safe and secure. This part of our nature is based on ego need, and until we transcend that need, we will always stay stuck. Living in an Andromeda reality requires us to create an anchor to reality in our own consciousness rather than in the outside world. This is an important concept that actually has to do with how humans will eventually master space travel. It is also profoundly connected to a spiritual awakening. Thus, Andromedans act as masters and guides for our evolution, teaching us to move from polarity and the fear of change to integration and the embracing of the changing nature of reality. If this card appears in your spread, look closely at your relationship to change. Are you addicted to it or do you fear it? Perhaps it is time to forge a new relationship with one of the only constants of life, change. Ah, that was deep and heavy and needed. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've gone through more change than most, I guess, in my life. Maybe that must be why the universe is, yeah, Loretta, you're pretty qualified to do this part. So, yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Well, what'd you think? That's like some new information in there. Not even, I think meditation, like it was talking about, we have to empty ourselves. We empty ourselves in meditation. Well, and people are always saying that too, so they can come in. We have to be still and quiet. So I'm going to try to practice and get into more of that deeper state of meditation. That would be just so awesome. So I'm working on it. I know y'all are too, in your own way, however you need to meditate. Being in the woods and walking is my favorite. But, yeah. So anyway, we made it to video 10. Isn't that great? All right. We're going to keep on going. Look, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for sharing yourself with me. Thank you. Okay. I love you. Take care of yourself. Remember to meditate. All right. Keep your vibration up. And I will see you in the next video. All right. I love you. Bye-bye.